Here, I'll be showing you how to make more advanced decisions using the choose function in Excel. It's pretty cool and it can replace the if function, especially nested if functions, in quite a lot of scenarios and save you a lot of time and make it easier to manage your spreadsheets.
Before we start, check the video description and click the link to TeachExcel so you can download the files for the tutorial and follow along. And make sure to subscribe and accept notifications so you can see all the new tutorials.
Now, the choose function allows you to return a value from a list of values based off of an index number. So let's say you want to return the first value or the second or the third value from a list, and that's what the choose function allows you to do. As well, you don't just have to return values, you could perform different actions, which is really where this function becomes very useful. So let's start with a very simple example that will show you how the choose function works. We have a bunch of examples down here. This one right here. Here we have the equals choose function, and it's pretty simple. It has two different types of arguments. One is an index number that we use to figure out what we want to output, and then a series of values that we can output. So each one is an argument separated by a comma, and I just have three options here. I want to output hi, I want to output bye, or I want to output I'll be back. And how do we figure out which one to output? Well, the index number. So if I have 1 here, it's going to output the first value. If I put a 2 there, it'll output the second value, and a 3 will output the third value. So this function allows us to choose what we want to do or what we want to output. And these arguments are what we can do and what we can output. Choose them using the index number. So you can see it's high right now. If I make it 2, it'll be bye. And if I make it 3, it'll be I'll be back. So if we type it out, it works like this. Very simple. Equals choose. Hit the tab key to auto input that. The first is the index number. Just make it simple, hard code a 1. And then what do we want to input? Let's say hi. Okay. Comma, next value. Bye. And I'll be back. So easy peasy. And now what we have down here is I just took the index number out. So I can do 2 or 3, and you'll see this changes. So the index number does not have to be hard-coded. In fact, it's a bad idea to hard-code it. It just makes it easier for me to explain how to use it. So here, we just take the index number and put it in this cell. Now, one thing to pay attention to with this function is if this is nothing, we get an error, or 0, we get an error. Now, a way around that is you could surround it with an if error function. So let's copy this guy. Go over here, equals if error, and then we can put it in there, remove the equal sign, if error, just make it blank, and you could do it like that. So I will leave this in here as 2. And all right, so that's it in its simplest form. Doesn't seem too helpful yet, but let's get a bit more complicated now. So down here, I have, let's say, a form, and I want to input if the tests have been completed, 1, 2, or 3. These are just hard-coded text values in here, nothing special. But down here, so I want to say, yes, the tests have been started, or how many tests have been completed. There are so many different options, and we're going to use the choose function instead of an if statement. You could use an if statement, you could nest them, you could do all sorts of things like that. But here we're going to use the choose function. And yes, it looks a little bit scary right now, but the choose function is actually really easy. It allows you to organize this stuff really well because the decision making is going to happen here in the first argument, and everything else is just a list of potential outputs. So just because it's long, don't freak out. These are just the text values that I'd like to output. Now we have to figure out how to get the index number. So what I'm using here is the COUNTIF function. And all I'm doing is counting how many completes are input into these cells. So I count the completes, and then I add 1 Remember, if it is 0, an error will be returned by the choose function. And I said you could use the if error function, or the alternative is just add 1 and then have a default value here. So if count if right here, which counts these cells, finds no cell with the word complete in it, it will return a 0, which would return an error for the choose function. So we simply add a 1 to that 0, and that gives us a result. We get to return a result from the first value. So tests not started. And then you can change it to be however you want. So I just left it as tests started and then tests complete. So in this scenario, when all 3 are complete, COUNTIF will return 3. We add 1. That will give an index number of 4, which returns the 4th value. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tests complete. So watch it when I type complete, tests complete, delete it, tests not started. Now, the cool thing about the choose function is that we don't just have to say tests started, tests. We don't have to have just a generic phrase that goes for everything. We could count how many tests are completed. So here I did pretty much the same thing, just a little bit more specific. If we have nothing that has been done, tests not started. If we have 1, we say 1 test complete, or 2 tests complete, or all tests complete. So it allows you to have a more specific output and not just tests started. So let us go down here. I'm going to show you something a little bit more advanced now. So first let's do a simple one, and then we'll do the advanced one actually. So let's say we have a date here, and I want to output what season it is. Well, choose function is perfect for this. We get an index number using the month function. So the month function is going to return the number of the month between 1 and 12. And then over here, we have what we want to output. So for the winter months, we want to output winter, spring, summer, with a little smiley face, of course, autumn, and then back to winter again for December. And you could put whatever you want in here. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is the choose function allows you to customize it. You don't have to have any nasty nested if statements or anything like that. But you can also make this a little bit more complicated. And you will see these examples quite a lot online, so I want to quickly cover that right now. And this is when you use true and false. True and false, if you haven't seen my other videos on the power of true and false, it can be used as 1 and 0. It's kind of a weird concept, but this right here is something that will return true and false. I'll cover it in one moment, but once it returns true and false, we can convert it to 0 for false and 1 for true. So we can have a bunch of tests in here for the index number, so long as they return trues and falses. And we can add those together and use that to figure out which value to return. It is a confusing topic. Please watch the power of true and false, that video, and also the sum product video. And after those two, you're going to know everything about it, and you'll feel very comfortable with this topic. But what I have here is I do a couple tests. Is the month number greater than 5? This will return true or false. Then is the month less than 9? This will return true and false, or false. And the AND function says that both of these tests must evaluate to true, and then the AND function will return true. If one of them does not evaluate to true, it will return false. And once you have that, so I'm going to select it right now and hit F9, you'll see it returns false. But now we need to make it return a number. There's two different ways to do that. You could add a number to it, or multiply a number by it, or multiply it by another true and false, or you could do 2 dashes. And that would also turn it to a number. So we can see that false has now been converted to 0. But in this case, we don't need to do that because we add 1. And the moment that we add a number to the true and false, it will automatically be converted to a number. So since we're adding 1 to false, which is also 0, 1 plus 0 is 1. We have an index number of 1. It tells us that it is not summer. If we get an index number of 2, it will say summer. and the index number of 2 will happen when this function returns true, which will be converted into 1 once we add the 1 to it. It is confusing. Please watch my other tutorials on true and false. But this is where you can start to see how choose can become rather powerful and confusing very quickly. But just remember, true and false can be converted to 1 and 0, and that allows us to do very powerful things. All right, but now let's get a little bit less confusing and more helpful. So the cool thing about choose is that you can choose what values you want to use. So here we have some values, and let's say that you want to do something really flexible. You want to say, I want to use the first value. So I type 1 here, and the first value pops in down here, or 2, and the second value, and so on. And all we have here is the choose function, but with cell references for everything this time. So the index number is a cell reference right here, and then all of the values that we'd like to output are just cell references over here. Doesn't seem too helpful, does it? But let us go down here now where we expand upon that. So there we are just choosing which numbers to output. But you could link an entire spreadsheet up to that, have a nice little drop-down menu like this, and then when you make a choice from the drop-down menu, the entire spreadsheet changes. So you can test out different scenarios, or different sales months, different stores, different products. You can just basically control changing the spreadsheet with a flip of a switch. And it's pretty darn cool. So here I've got some sales for January, February, March, and products. So let's say I want to sum up the sales for January, February, or March and have it returned over here. Well, here I've got a lovely choose function inside of a sum function. So one of the really powerful things about choose is it's not only going to return a value, but it can return a range reference that is then used by another function. So in this case, we have choose right here inside of the sum function. So we have our index number right here referencing this cell, which is going to allow us to change everything. And then we have our range references. So here and here and here. The 3 values, range references. So it's pretty versatile, it's dynamic. It doesn't just have to be hard-coded text or values or single cell references. You can return full-on ranges. And that's what also makes this really powerful and really cool. So you could set up an entire spreadsheet like this and make it so that it's going to change all of the values, not just one value, but all of the values, all of the sales, all of the scenarios, everything. And this is where choose becomes really helpful, especially if you're building out financial models or anything like that, really. And you can see it's not that difficult to use. So there are a lot of other things that we can do with the choose function, but I think that this gives you a nice broad overview of some of the cool things that you can do. It starts out really simple with just making a selection based off of an index number, and then you learn that you can put formulas and functions inside of there, and then you can do true and false tests like here, which is confusing, yes, but allows for some very powerful things to be done. And down here to where you choose output values and range references. And that's it for this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful.
I hope you liked the tutorial. If it was helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe and accept notifications so you can see all the new tutorials.